Top five.
Top
five. And today's top five. Oh, we have a special guest on our top five.
Yeah.
Hold on. I have to get rid of this graphic that's covering our faces. And once I do that... Oh, I found it. Okay, here we are. We're here. We're back on this camera. Top five right here. We have a special guest. You want to introduce yourself to the galaxy?
Hello, Galaxy. My name is Mary Athon, and I'm happy to be here and happy to talk about Star Wars always.
Thank you.
Finally, the truth comes out. We've been mispronouncing your last name the whole time.
Yeah, it's true. We don't like to admit it, but we do. I think we mispronounce 90% of people's names. Like, it's not Smith, it's Smith. Oh, we're pretty bad at it. Today, you're joining us for we've done 150 top five, Brock. How have we ever thought of that many top fives? I'm pretty sure we repeated them multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
Today, though, we had to get a guest on because it is an iconic one. Top five moments from the Skywalker Saga, episode 1 to episode 9. And this is unbelievably the hardest top five we've ever done. Even harder than I think our third or fourth one where we did top five Jar Jar moments, Brock. This one was way harder than that one. So I guess I gotta say right off the bat, I told you guys earlier, I don't have Praetorian Guards on my list because I went for more emotional scenes, even though I guess that one, it's kind of the first time they really connect. Anyway, it's my favorite, but it's not on my list of favorites. So it'll be good. Anything, Mary, that you have that you didn't put on that you're like, oh, that one should have been on, but it's not?
I don't have the Praetorian Guards, and then I just thought of one, but I'm like, I should have.
Welcome to top five. Like,
And I think that I'm actually going to. Well, okay, I'll just say it. It's in episode 6 where Luke is on Tatooine with the whole crew, and he puts his lightsaber in R2-D2, and he's like on the plank about to jump into the digest for a million years, whatever. And then he like gives R2 the signal, and he spits out the lightsaber, and it's awesome. And no one thought that was going to happen. It's like, where's his lightsaber? And no one even knew that he was going to have one. And then it's green because he had to make a new one. Oh, it's just awesome. Really, really, really good stuff.
It's like those memes on Instagram where it's like they're like, all you had to do was say this, and then it's the end of the movie. So it's like I'll help you. I'm Emperor Palpatine talking. Anakin is like, I'll help you. It's like, no, he's an evil Sith. Don't trust him. And it's just roll credits like written and directed by. It's like like R2 shooting out the lightsaber, but it goes too far and it misses. Is like written and directed. You're like, oh.
That is one of my favorite moments that did not make my list either. We'll have to. I lost your video again because shocker, I lose.
He lives in the woods, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be a shirt. James
definitely will. Hopefully, hopefully your video comes back. Subway, let's go right into the top five now. Brock, why don't you kick things off with your top five moment from the Skywalker Saga, which I'm sure tomorrow you'll be like, oh, I should have had this.
My number 5 is going to be Duel of the Fates, because it is an exciting lightsaber battle, arguably probably one of the best, because it's sort of like, hey, we could think up choreography for this. And it gave us the wonderment that is Ray Park. Great music, great everything. Just so good. And it doesn't include any of our original cast. Well, no, that's not true. Anyways, go on.
My number 5 is the moment of ObiWan Kenobi's death on the Death Star. That was like, I don't know, when you're a kid watching it, it's still emotional. Luke's reaction, no, like that slow-mo, and then they're shooting, but they gotta leave, so there's no time to mourn on it. But the fact that he just holds up his lightsaber and lets Vader strike him down is just such a great Star Wars moment. And I mean, everybody knows it. There's that meme where the dirty clothes on the ground, the husband's like, the wife's like, why is there a dirty pile of clothes? I killed a Jedi. It's like, I hate you. That's my life. But that's my number 5. It's such an iconic moment. I absolutely love it. Mary, what's your number 5?
So it's actually Duel of the Fates too. It's where they're in the lobby, and all of a sudden the song comes on, and then the double doors open, and Mace Windu, or not Mace Windu, and they're in the lobby, and opens with Darth Maul standing there, and he like extends the lightsaber. It goes out both sides. You're like, never seen a double lightsaber before. This is awesome. And then the music starts going. Padme's like, we'll go the long way around. It's just great. It's a good scene. It saved that movie too. Even though I like the movie.
It's a good connection. Like that Duel of Fates and then the Death of Obi-Wan are good to be put together in this top 5, because it's sort of like the first lightsaber battle to like one of the most advanced ones, where like again, it's got the cable coming out of his, and they're just like whacking sticks. But then you like this one, you got like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, like choreography.
Yeah.
So that was a fun choice for number 5.
That's one of my favorite lists.
James, you want to do number?
Yeah, that didn't not make my list because my list is apparently terrible.
Wow.
Yeah. My number 4 is Empire Strikes Back. Yoda lifting the X-wing.
Yeah.
So good, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a great moment, and it really kind of tells you everything you need to know about the Force. It doesn't matter how big you are; it's all about focus. Brock.
My number 4 is gonna go back to the prequels, the Darth Sidious Yoda lightsaber battle. Just to be like, oh, this is everything we dreamed about. And I like that it's a showdown between these two, because I've always kind of seen them as like foils of each other. If like Luke and Vader foil are sort of that idea as well. But like, I like to know if like Yoda knew. I like to think that deep down he's like, this is all going to happen because it has to happen or whatever. So, but just seeing Yoda go all out with the lightsaber is just wild.
Yeah, you mentioned that before, that you thought Yoda kind of knew it was going down.
Yeah.
Mary,
what's your number 4?
So actually, I almost picked the Yoda X-wing, and then I had, the Luke X-wing from episode 9. Really good stuff. But my number 4 is it's episode 2, Attack the Clones. And it's kind of like a cheesy scene, but I think it's just so cool. It's the Colosseum, and then all of a sudden, all the Jedi show up, and Mace Windu pulls out the lightsaber in front of Count Dooku and says, "This party's over."
Great moment, absolutely. And you know, if Andrew was on this, he would have that in his top 5 for sure. I think, and that's why he's not on it.
Your top 5s have some like funny joke included in it, like. Which works for my number 3, because I was like, I have to put him in there. Babu Frick in Attack of the Skywalkers. No, Rise of Skywalkers, but specifically when he's like, I am Babu Frick. Like, I was thinking about this week. I think episode 9 is the funniest Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just for like a lot of things, but because I think originally I thought this was a Rise of Skywalker moment, and it was just going to be jokes. It's like Runner, Spice Runner. BPO7.
That was.
It was the funniest, but it was also the darkest in some ways.
Yeah, the CVP stuff got pretty dark.
The Rise of Skywalker, right?
Oh yeah.
How did they do that?
I think that's why it needed to be funny.
BPO did a dark joke. What? He got a little blue, then a little gold.
Opened up really dark too. Kind of killing people.
Nice, yeah.
And then
it is. Oh god, Exegol. That's like, I think they should have a haunted house themed with Exegol, where it's just like you're in the dark, and then there's like dead guys, and like
Palpatine just being lowered from the ceiling.
I would still hard pass on the haunted house. My number 3 is Obi-Wan in Attack of the Clones discovering the Clone Army. The Clone Army. Yeah. That's a pivotal point in Star Wars. There's an entire TV series based around the aftermath of that event, and really everything that follows is because of this Clone Army. So that's my number 3. And I love Kamino also. Mary, number 3?
Okay, so my number 3 is at the end of episode 4, where Han Solo swoops in and saves the day. And then where Obi-Wan says, "The Force will be with you always." It's just really magical. It's really good.
It's not that funny though, but yeah.
I almost chose another funny one, but I could go back and forth.
That is that almost that
Uh-huh.
did not make my list, but it's a fantastic moment. Brock, number 2.
Spoiler, it's on my list as well.
Is it number 1 on your list? All right, number 2, bro. Okay, I'll go. My number 2 is from the Revenge of the Sith motion picture, when the Vader mask is coming down on Anakin's head, and then it clicks in, and there's that moment of silence, and then that was one of my favorite moments. I mean, I didn't get to see the original trilogy when they first came out, but the 6 that I have, or the 6, 8, 9, however many I've seen in the theater that weren't the original 3, that is the one moment when the whole, maybe the holdo maneuver, but the whole theater is just kind of like in awe for a moment. And we all know, like, it's not like it's a surprise. Like, we're all like, it's Vader. And then it comes down, but then as soon as that, you hear the breathing, it's like, oh yeah, Star Wars. Like, whatever came before, nothing mattered. It didn't matter how much people hated the prequels. Didn't matter anything. Vader's here. That one click. I love that moment. Brock, you're number 2.
My number 2 is gonna have to go Return of the Jedi, my favorite Star Wars movie. I just want to say Ewoks, but that's kind of vague.
So
I think I like the part where they're going. Like, I want to say the Battle of Endor, but again, that's not really a scene or a moment. I like the fact that they're like about to get to the shield battery, and they're like, "Oh, we can't do this." And it's like, "Oh, I'm afraid one of them just went over there." He's like, "What?" So it's like the fact that they're even able to like succeed in that battle with like, "Oh yeah, we just ran off and stole a scout bike." Like, what? I just love
It's
that.
so good.
And, you know,
the
great.
fact that they make C-3PO their
Thank God.
their
God,
king.
that was almost number 2. I was like, yeah, that was pretty sweet.
You should have said your number 2 should have been Ewoks in The Rise of Skywalker. That should have been it. Mary, what's your number 2?
Okay, so my number 2 is episode 8, where they're on Crate, and Luke is like, whatever, protecting himself. Kylo Ren's there. He like tries to stick the lightsaber, and Luke, he like finally realizes Luke's not really there, and then Luke just goes, "See you around, kid," and vanishes. And the music and just, it's just, oh, it's so cool.
I forgot about that. That whole like crate is just like a piece of art. We're like, why is it red? Is that blood? It's like, no, that's just like the salt underneath.
Yeah.
Though that guy who tasted that salt, though, he didn't know it was salt. That guy is
Salt.
Yeah, you just put it in your mouth.
What is this? I'm going to try it. Nope. Salt. Don't eat the ground, guys. Don't eat the ground. We're on number 1 now. I'll go first because it is the only true number 1 of the entire Skywalker saga. It is the number 1 of Star Wars as a whole, and if you disagree, your list is wrong. And that is, help me, ObiWan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Because, I mean, that sets everything in motion. I mean, it doesn't now that there's prequels, but at the time, it set everything in motion, and it's such an iconic scene, and it calls back, even when you have the prequels, it calls back to this Obi-Wan character that you watched for 3 movies, who lost his best friend to the dark side, and now all of a sudden we need to get him back because he's the last hope of it all, until Rey is the last hope. But there we go. Brock, you're number 1.
My number 1, it's already been said, Trench Run. It's just a classic moment. It's, you know, everything looks like it's gonna fail, and all of a sudden you see Han Solo come back, and you're like, wow. Someone pointed out that like that's his best moment because he comes back, he doesn't need to, and that's why the fact that Leia is holding his medal in Rise of Skywalker is huge, because that was the moment, like that's like the biggest moment in their relationship probably, or just Han Solo's life. So it's like that's why she's holding it when she passes away into the Force, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, it's great, and it's just cinematically what they accomplished with like models and stuff like that. It's just like, wow. So yeah, number 1 with the bullets.
It's insane. So good.
What's your number 1?
Yeah, Mary, take us home. Number 1.
All right, so my number 1 is at the end of episode 6, where Luke, he goes to confront Vader, and the Emperor. The Emperor's trying to like bait him into killing him, and he goes for it. He swings, and then Vader puts his lightsaber in front of it. And so that scene, it's not just Vader. On the surface, it's like he's saving the Emperor, he's saving Palpatine, but it's really him saving Luke from going to the dark side.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Pretty
Great.
If you really think
Great
about
moment. Great saga as well.
it. Yeah.
I love Star Wars.
There's so many. Like I said, this was really hard to put together. This stupid list. Like, it should have been top 100 moments from the Skywalker Saga. Also, it's 9 movies. It's not like it's 2.5. You know, it's 9 movies where you have to pick moments from. But that's a great one. Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie, and I didn't even have one moment on my list from it. So what does that tell you about me?
I should have just done 5 moments from Solo.
That would have been the best.
Piss people off.
Everyone loves Solo.
What a fantastic top 5.
Top 5. Brock's joking. We 150. We're allowed to. Mary, we lost your video. I lost your video for the last few because I live in the woods. We'll put a picture up for those ones. So, I'm sorry. I'm trying to hold on until you come back, but it's my internet's like, yeah. I rebooted my router like we did it back in the dial-up days, and nothing's working. So I don't know. But 150 of these shows have come and gone now, and I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. Not really. It's Brock. Do you think we have another 150 in the bank ready to go? Do you think we'll be able to pull it off?
Yeah, because I don't think there's anyone really keeping track of how many top 5s we do once over again. And they keep churning out Star Wars, so it's like, you kind of worry when they're like, oh, we're not gonna have a movie for a couple of years, and then they're like, High Republic, and here's a new timeline. I'm like, what? But then stuff like Rise of Kylo Ren issue 2, and you're like,
yeah,
wow. So yeah, you know what? I think I'm excited for the next 2 years, because if there's no movie to like make them stick to secrecy, it's like now we can get all the backstories that we've been wanting. It's like, what did Luke do? So yes.
Yeah, excited for Kenobi too.
Yes. I'm all in on Disney Plus. I don't know if I've ever said this on this channel.
Yeah.
I'm all like, I will watch whatever you got. So let's do it. Are you excited for Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Until we get a trailer, right?
Wait, the trailer's out?
No, until we get a trailer.
What?
What? You heard it here first. There's a trailer.
With all the spin-off movies, I'm like, or like the spin-off stuff, I'm like, I don't know. Like, we'll see. Like, they're just trying to, and then I go and see it, and I'm like, it's the best ever.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, is eventually, and I think this is when Iger kind of figured it out. I think Kathleen Kennedy warned him with Solo. People are going to start to get tired of Star Wars. It's just going to happen. Like, if you keep turning them out like twice a year, once every 6 months, people are going to be like, why am I going all the time? Even, like I've said this, the Marvel movies, as big as they are, Ant-Man didn't make much more than Solo, right? Like, so you have to know your brand, know it. And I think Disney Plus is a good place to have those spin-off titles for sure. Because then, you watch them when you want. You don't have to. They're not, they're probably better than anything else we're going to watch, but they don't have to be. They just have to be fine.
They're sitting there waiting for you.
Exactly.
You need them.
Yeah. Except for Twitter ruining it at 6:30 in the morning the day it drops. Like, oh, come on.
It's really annoying.
It's very annoying. All right, that'll wrap us up here. 150 episodes, 150 top 5s. Brock, anything you want to say as we say farewell?
I'm gonna put my hands up in the air because I've been doing that a lot this episode. Thank you for everyone that listens. Thank you to our Patreons. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, James, for being a friend, traveling down the road and back again. I love doing this podcast, and I hope for another 50. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a blast doing them, with hanging out with everybody, meeting people like Mary here and all that. And Mary, thank you so much for joining us today on the Top 5. It was awesome having you on, and you're in 2 roundtables as well that Andrew hosted, and he's not very good at it, but those were a lot of fun too. Yeah, they were fun. We'll have another roundtable to kind of relive those questions, so everyone can hear how wrong they were on what he asked, because that's the most fun of Star Wars, is getting predictions wrong and then being angry at the movie for it. Like, that's what I hate. But thank you again for being here. Thank everybody for watching, for listening, for subscribing. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the. I probably should have done this at the beginning. Ring the bell. Mary, thank you, and Brock. No, you were always scum.
Rebel scum.
Scum.
Leave that part in.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.